funny, having done Thursday night football for about 12 years before, you surfed in, and the first two games are absolutely fantastic, ridiculous, off the charts. The first game was a points extravaganza between Cincinnati and Baltimore, which, by the way, as you know, never is.
Right.
Never is.
Yeah.
Dalton's throwing touchdowns like it's a Sunday afternoon, not like it's a Thursday night.
I know. He's usually he's struggled in prime time. Let's say that.
Until you showed up.
Well, I don't think I have anything to do with it. Maybe it's Aikman. Maybe it's the little Fox banner that shows up, and then the crazy game that we had in Cleveland.
That was unbelievable.
That was like a Super Bowl. And being in that stadium was one of the coolest feelings I've had. I don't know. Is it ridiculous to say in my career? Because it just was like there was such a relief and there was so much excitement just that this guy, we finally got the guy and he delivered and he looked good doing it. It wasn't like he just lucked into a win. I mean, he made it happen.
And you called Indians World Series games in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So you've been in Cleveland for some euphoric.
And they blame me for the Indians losing to the Cubs. Somehow it's Aroldis Chapman and me.
It's always your fault. It's always your fault.
Always the guy calling it's fault. The problem is I call it more than other people call it. So therefore it's usually my fault.
So Mayfield coming in, I'm sitting at home. I felt it through the television set. What in the world was it like in that stadium?
Well, we talked about it early because it felt like the sand was running out of the hourglass for Tyrod Taylor because he really wasn't playing well. Then he goes down and he gets hurt, so it's coming. But I wonder what the story would have been had he not gotten hurt, and how many more series he would have had. I think he was about finished anyway, and then Mayfield comes in, and you could just feel this swell of emotion. But then you see him play and watch him throw it. I was not aware. I didn't see him a ton in college. I was not aware that he had that kind of velocity, that he had that arm strength, the way he was, really slinging it into tight spots. He's a leader type, a rah-rah guy, and the tools to back it all up.
And then, the button pushed to have, I guess, the Cleveland special called for him to catch the touchdown. Now, that's the way to fire.
That's Todd Haley. Too. I think if the nation learned anything during Hard Knocks, it was how kind of funny and irreverent and whatever Todd Haley is. And he ends up, running the same type play that Philly ran in the Super Bowl, and he catches right here. He catches a touch. This is just good action by you guys. This is a 2-point conversion.
There it is.
That ties the game. And,
from a lefty throwing Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, who knew that?
I mean, the whole thing, it really was just incredible to watch and unfold. And the Jets just didn't have the pass rush to get at him. I mean, it's amazing how football and I guess sports in general works is that 13 days before, or just not even 10 days before in Detroit, they were the Harlem Globetrotters.
Right.
And then that night they were the Washington Generals, just like playing along with the narrative.
So we get a review of our games by some unnamed producer that sends us a review of all of our games. And the criticism of us internally was that it became a Brown-centric broadcast. And I think there's some truth to that. At the end, you walk out of there and you go, man, did we even talk about the Jets? Because once Baker Mayfield came in, it was like you're counting down the time until Mayfield comes back out on the field. Meanwhile, you got Sam Darnold and all that he brings in the Jets offensively. So I'm sure Jets fans blame me that they lost that game, and we didn't talk enough about the Jets. But I think they're right if they had that complaint.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.